Hey friends, this is Derrick Broze with the Conscious Resistance Network, and this is another Minds exclusive news report coming to you as part of the Divest from Facebook campaign being organized by myself with the Conscious Resistance Network, News to Share, the Anti-Media, Mint Press News, and other independent alternative media websites. First things first, I'd like to remind you guys to bookmark theconsciousresistance.com to make sure you're getting all of our latest content, including news stories on 5G, on a wide range of topics, and of course follow us on our Minds page, and you can find more about the Divest from Facebook campaign right here. But let's get right into this. This coming from the Environmental Health Trust says that another congressperson, New York Congressman Thomas Suozzi, calls on FCC for documentation that 5G is safe. Congressman, I don't know how to pronounce this, Suozzi, I apologize, representing New York's 3rd Congressional District, sent a letter to the FCC asking for safety data on 5G. He joins other congresspeople and representatives who've already called for the FCC to release information we've talked about previously. Let's go ahead and take a look at this letter. He's writing to Ajit Pai, who is the chairman of the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, which is supposed to oversee the 5G rollout in cell phones in general. He says, quote, "I write to express the concern of constituents and local officials in my district regarding possible detrimental health effects of radio frequency radiation emitted by small cells. From Huntington to Lake Success and beyond, small cell towers are being installed in residential neighborhoods in close proximity to houses throughout my district. I have heard instances of these antennae being installed on light poles directly outside the window of a young child's bedroom. Rightly so, my constituents are worried that should this technology be proven hazardous in the future, the health of their families and the values of their properties would be at serious risk. As I'm sure you're aware, the National Toxicology Program released a study in November of last year which linked RF radiation used in 2G and 3 networks to cancerous growth in rats. Through this $30 million 10-year-long study, though this $30 million 10-year-long study does not apply to 4G or 5G, the cell phone use throughout our country requires that this research be taken seriously and safety determinations. He says, he goes on to say, I wish to pass along my constituents' strong desire that further studies also be taken seriously and given a proper evaluation. This is just one of the many pieces of research forwarded to my office by passionate activists who want to ensure the safety of their family, friends, and communities. Another area of concern is the fact that the FCC's guidelines are outdated. The Commission's original updated guidelines were created in 1996 when much of the technology in use today was not yet available for widespread consumption, including 5G. In a letter dated December 17, 2018, FCC Commissioner Carr explains that safe exposure limits have been altered and updated in the FCC's guidelines since that time. How have these safety determinations been made, and does the FCC plan on releasing the data it used to set these new limits? 5G will bring about transformation to how people and networks communicate. While I understand the importance of this, I believe we must also be as certain as possible that it is safe. I respectfully request that you provide my office and all relevant House committees with the information used by the FCC, FDA, and other related health agencies to make 5G safety determinations." So, yeah, just asking more questions. And as I said in my previous Minds exclusive report, which you guys can see right here, talking about 5G and how the New Yorker woke up to it, finally, we also have Representative Peter DeFazio of Oregon, the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee chairman, who did the same thing, wrote a letter to FCC Chairman Ajit Pai and acting FDA Commissioner, inquiring for more information on how they set their guidelines and whether or not this is safe. We also have Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal, who's called on the FCC Commissioner to disclose safety data, and there's been other local officials as well who've done the same. This whole article right here from our website kind of breaks down the exact scenario that's out playing here. But, what it comes down to is that you've got at least 3 or 4 different senators, congresspeople, representatives, and many, many others, activists, scientists, health professionals, and journalists like myself asking questions about this. I pointed out how Wired magazine finally asked questions. In this video, we talk about how the New Yorker finally asked questions about this. And this is Sue Halpern from the New Yorker saying, "Until I started reporting this story, I didn't give much thought to 5G. That was a mistake." And then we also have this from the Environmental Health Trust saying that they published this letter here from a Harvard PhD scientist. His name is down here, Ronald M. Powell, PhD. You can find more about him and his work. But basically, he says that 5G and small cell towers threaten public health. And he is he's talking about the bills before the Maryland General Assembly. And he basically asks these questions. Why is control of 5G secondary to stopping its deployment? What makes Maryland a leader in mandating exposure to harmful radio frequency radiation? Why is human health so vulnerable to harm from radio frequency radiation? What is the evidence of harm caused by radio frequency radiation? What are the advantages and disadvantages of 5G? And he goes through to answer each of these questions and to explain why he thinks people should be asking questions. But my point with this is just another example of the questions being raised around 5G, and you do not hear this in the corporate media because they do not want you to realize that more and more people are asking questions. Individual politicians and Congress people, activists, journalists, health professionals, scientists, and a few politicians here and there, and just regular folks out there who are starting to ask this. But, the reality is that at the end of the day, all the corporate media wants you to think about is whether or not 5G is going to help you download movies faster. And, that's all they care about. They just want you to know that you can download your movies 100 times faster, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day, right? It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It doesn't matter if you're going to get sick from this. It doesn't matter if, you might lose sleep, or you might have anxiety, or if you might lose privacy. These are all implications of the 5G rollout, by the way. All they want you to think about is the fact that you can download your video games and your movies faster. But what we're trying to do here is get you guys to ask questions, and I hope you guys will continue to ask these questions. I hope you guys will continue to look at these situations and to see what's going on, to realize that there are plenty of things that we can do, that we can still raise awareness on the local level. The federal government is bought out, sold out, controlled. They're the ones who are helping usurp local power by taking it away from the localities and the municipalities and saying that the FCC and the telecom lobby, the big wireless lobby, is in charge of this. So if you want to do something about this, you got to focus as local as possible. Get out to the streets, pass out flyers, raise awareness in whatever ways you feel necessary and valuable. And yeah, I think that's really where we're at, guys. It's up to us to step up to the plate and to do something about this if this is an issue that you feel strongly about. And again, thank you guys for following on Minds. Find us on minds.com/The Conscious Resistance Network and at theconsciousresistance.com. Until next time, remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free. Peace.